WEHC is happy to bring you Appalachian Artists Live, a live in-studio show featuring local musicians performing original songs, covers, and interviews. And who could be a better host but the man who's been photographing, recording, and promoting local musicians throughout the Tri-Cities for over 5 years, Kevin Edwards. From the campus of Emory and Henry and the studios of WEHC and WISE FM, here is your host, Kevin. It's all yours.
Good afternoon. I'm your host, Kevin Edwards, here in the studios of WEHC. This is Appalachian Artists Live, and I'm so happy to present you today, Sandra Lambert. Take it away, ma'am.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi.
Hi, everybody out there in Radio Land. The first song I'm going to sing for you is a song off my first album, Life's Highway. It's a personal favorite. I grew up riding horses, and we lived out in the country and didn't really have a neighborhood with a bunch of kids to play with, so I spent a lot of time by myself on horseback. And a friend of mine, her father had a bunch of cattle, and we would bring the cattle in to feed. And so the first two verses of this song are true. The last verse is not true. I never moved to Montana, but where we live now, I've got a couple acres and beautiful view of Buffalo Mountain Range. So I found my little piece of Montana here in East Tennessee. And the title of the song is Montana. I often dream of Montana, where the sky is big and clear blue. Someday I'll go to Montana. Someday that's what I'll do. I'm counting on you, Montana. A dream's rendezvous when we all are younger. We dream and hope they come true. Then as we grow older, we fail to follow through. I dreamt of being a cowboy, roping cows on the range, sitting on my pony, riding the winds of change. Montana, I'm counting on you, Montana. A dream's rendezvous. So I packed up my truck for Montana. I'm making a dream come true. I'm getting close to Montana. The vistas are nearly in view. Now I'm sitting in Montana, dreaming dreams anew, living in Montana is a dream I never outgrew. Montana, I'm counting on you. Montana, a dream's rendezvous. Montana, a dream's rendezvous.
Very nice, Sandra.
Thank you, Kevin.
I like that. Got a very sweet voice.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That
Right.
song was one of the very first ones I wrote back in 2020. I was just learning how to play the ukulele, so I played the ukulele on that song, a little tenor ukulele. And I started out playing the dulcimer, mountain dulcimer, when I was in my mid-50s, and I call that my gateway instrument. And I was at a dulcimer festival, and I bought a ukulele and tried to learn how to play it, and got a little frustrated with it. But then when everything shut down in March of 2020, I found a lady out of Brattleboro, Vermont, Lisa McCormick, who had a 6 weeks free lessons, and I took that, and it was amazing. The light bulb came on for me as far as I figured out I can sing a lot of songs with just 3 chords, which meant you can write a lot of songs with just 3 chords. So I didn't know anything about music theory or chords and keys and stuff like that. But
So you play the ukulele and guitar and dulcimer. You're just multi-talented. So what are you going to play next?
the next song is titled Life's Highway. It's the title of, and this one's about my grandmother. I was fortunate to grow up with all 4 grandparents nearby. But my dad's mother, Oma Bowman, she was probably the biggest influence on my life because I could walk to her house. And she was involved with 4-H and Eastern Star and Anderson County Fair and et cetera, et cetera. She was only 4'11", little powerhouse of a woman. And her mother died when she was about 12 years old of a stroke. And from my understanding is Mama went to work as a maid and at 13. And then she got married and had my dad at 15.
Wow.
So this is a song for her, and it's titled Life's Highway. Your mama died when you were young. A silent prayer rolled off her tongue. She didn't choose to leave you alone. You were just a little girl flung into this great big world on your own. On your own. And in the early morning stillness, a simple prayer began your day. You put your trust in Jesus to drive you down life's highway. You didn't waste your time on tears, much wiser than your years. You set out to conquer the unknown. Met a man, he was good to you. Wasn't long until your family grew. He bought a home to call your own. And in the early morning stillness, a simple prayer began your day. You put your trust in Jesus to drive you down life's highway. raised your kids and a garden too. Did all that you had to do to survive. And you thrived. You did a lot for your community, made the most of opportunities, but you never learned how to drive. I learned a lot from watching you until the day he called you home. Now all that's left are these photographs and all the memories they invoke. And in the early morning stillness, a simple prayer begins my day. I put my trust in Jesus to drive me down life's highway, to drive me down life's highway.
That's a very beautiful song, Sandra.
Thank you, Kevin.
Very well written.
Thank you.
I'm sure your grandmother would love that. And I'm sure she's looking down on you, listening today.
I'm sure she is.
Yes, definitely.
She was a big impact on my life. I did 4-H and food and nutrition, and had to pass her house after I got off the bus. I had to pass her house to get to my house. So every afternoon she'd call me in, and we'd bake something, cook something, sew something, fill in the blank, can something. It just depended. So.
And you always learn a lot from your grandparents, don't you?
You definitely do. I learned a lot, and I was fortunate to live close to them. And then my other grandparents, I could ride my horse to their house, and I often did as well. So
Nice.
I was fortunate to grow up with all four grandparents in the vicinity.
That's very nice. And so what made you decide that later in life to play the dulcimer?
Well, I always enjoyed singing and grew up singing in the church, and took piano lessons a little bit in middle school, but I was more interested in riding horses than I was practicing piano. And then you go off to college and get a job, get married, have kids, etc. But the music part of it never really left me. And so in pre-retirement years, I was working part-time, and my cousin played the mountain dulcimer.
Okay.
And my mom my sister had a stroke, and I was taking her to the doctor one day, and I was telling her that there was going to be some mountain dulcimer lessons at a local community college there in Knoxville, Pellissippi State Community College. And I said, I'd love to take that class, but I don't have a dulcimer. And my sister was like, well, you can have mine. And I'm like, what? She'd had one for about, 15 or 20 years, never played it. And then after she'd had her stroke, she lost the full use of her right arm.
Oh.
And so she gave me that dulcimer, and I took classes from a gentleman named Rudy Ryan. He's passed now, but I took with him for about 2 years at the community college and just fell in love with the instrument. And as I mentioned, I consider it my gateway instrument. I went to a festival and purchased that ukulele, and then from there I learned about the baritone ukulele. And then from there I tried to do a 6-string guitar.
Wow.
But I call it the frustration to happiness ratio wasn't there. I was too frustrated with a 6-string guitar, and I wasn't really enjoying it. So a friend of mine turned me onto the tenor guitar, which only has 4 strings.
Okay.
So it meets my needs, but the mountain dulcimer is my true love, my first love for an instrument.
Now, I know you know Roxanne McDaniel. She has a dulcimer. It's got like a little banjo head. I don't know what you call it. It sounds like a little banjo.
Maybe a dulcijo. I've heard that
Something
term
like that,
before.
but it sounds great. There's so many different dulcimers.
There's mine's a 3-string. It's a Bella dulcimer. It's a gentleman who makes guitars, but he also makes dulcimers, and he's in Irwin, Tennessee. A phenomenal dulcimer maker.
Wow.
But there's different shapes, different sizes,
Yeah.
different strings.
And they even make them out of cardboard, too.
They do.
For students, you know.
We do. We have a couple of those. My husband and I helped with a grant from the Boones Creek Historical Trust. Went around to some public schools with some cardboard dulcimers,
Nice.
introducing it to middle schoolers and high schoolers. We enjoy that a lot. You never know what kind of seed you're going to plant. And a lot of people know about the guitar and the banjo and the fiddle, etc. But I think around here people need to know about the mountain dulcimer as well. So we like to be an ambassador for the dulcimer.
And keep the tradition alive, right?
Yes, definitely.
Well, you got some more tunes for us?
I sure do. The next one is titled Chunky Monkey Mountain Boy. We had two little long-haired chihuahuas, and they were brother and sister. We had them for about 16 years. And unfortunately, we lost them within about a month of each other, or they passed. And anyhow, the girl, we called her our beach babe because she enjoyed running on the beach. But the boy wasn't that crazy about the beach. He liked the mountains. He liked to go on trails and walk. So we started calling him our Chunky Monkey Mountain Boy because he was getting a little, as he got older, he got a little fuller. So I wrote a little song about him. He's our chunky monkey mountain boy. He chews a rubber chicken and a hot dog squeaky toy. Getting out in nature brings him so much joy. Our chunky monkey mountain boy. He used to be so skinny when he was just a pup, but now he's gotten older and he's really fattened up. Who knows what he's thinking as he sniffs along the trail? You can tell he's happy as he wags his furry tail. He's our chunky monkey mountain boy. He chews a rubber chicken and a hot dog squeaky toy. Getting out in nature makes him feel so joy. That chunky monkey mountain boy. When a hike is done, he sleeps away the day, curls up in his cuddle cup and doesn't want to play. Only peeks his nose out when he smells bacon frying. Something about that pig fat is so satisfying. He's our chunky monkey mountain boy. He chews a rubber chicken and a hot dog squeaky toy. Getting out in nature brings him so much joy. Our chunky monkey mountain boy. Our chunky monkey mountain boy. I enjoy that song. Makes me remember Little Copper.
It's a very cheerful song, for sure.
I'm sorry?
Cheerful
Oh, yeah.
and happy.
And I find it's easier to write sad songs, so it's nice to have a happier one every now and then.
I think everybody likes to write sad songs or find it easier to write sad songs about breakups and heartache and so forth. And
Yeah, we went to an open mic recently, and somebody got up there and said, "My wife gets after me because all I ever write sad songs," and I'm like, I can relate.
Yeah.
So I'm going to switch over to the mountain dulcimer.
All right. I can't wait to hear it.
Again, this is a Bella dulcimer out of gentleman made it out of Irwin, Tennessee, and I've got it tuned down. A lot of dulcimers are normally tuned to DAD or DAA, but this one's tuned to A sharp, F, A sharp. And it's also, I guess, my first and probably only murder ballad I've ever tried to write. I got the opportunity to work with some high school students at the Elizabethton High School. The history teacher had his students write a murder ballad, and then he had a couple musicians come in and try to put their lyrics to music.
Oh, wow.
And these young ladies picked a murder ballad. It was a local event. Ada Thompson, she was 16 years old, and a young gentleman, I guess he was trying to get her to marry him, and she wouldn't, so he killed her and killed himself.
Oh, wow.
The girls actually went to the grave of Ada Thompson, and it was in a family cemetery, so they got to meet some of her family. This happened in 1916.
Wow.
And they had a photo album, and evidently a photographer had been to take school pictures, and the day of the murder, the photographer was bringing the developed pictures back to the school. So he just happened to be in town, and they had pictures of the murder scene, which was sad, but the girls got to see, the true story. I Googled her story, and I think there was an article out of Knoxville that said she was 25 years old and she was a teacher or something, but that's incorrect. She was 16 years old and she was a student. So the young girls, they wrote their lyrics from the viewpoint of the mother, what the mother went through, Ada's mom. But and then they switched to Ada's viewpoint and switched back to the mother's viewpoint. So I did my own version, and it's just a narration story. And I'm not a big murder ballad singer, but I thought I'd give it a try. Dear Miss Ada, come with me, for your brother wants to see you at home, and we'll walk through a little grove of hardwood trees. Little grove of hardwood trees. The school teacher let her go, but little did the teacher know that Frank was wooing Ada Thompson. And several times she told him no. Several times she told him no. They were walking, he asked again, bending down on one knee. She replied, I don't love you, and you will never marry me. You will never marry me. Ada landed on the ground. The pictures show she lay face down. Frank lay beside her, gun in hand. He killed them both. He was a troubled man. He killed them both. He was a troubled man. Just as the morning of her life was opened into day, her young and lovely spirit passed from the earth and grief away. From the earth and grief away.
This is WEHC and WISC FM radio. You are listening to Appalachian Artists Live. And coming up this Tuesday at 8 p.m., we are airing Darian Cancion, a blues duo from Washington, D.C. They came into studios yesterday, and I recorded them. And here they are performing a good song. I can't even read my... And here they are. I hope you enjoy.
There is a house in New Orleans they call the Rising Sun, and it's been the ruin of many a poor boy. And God, I know I'm one. My mother was a tailor. She sewed my new blue jeans, and my father was a gambler way down in
mother needs is a suitcase and a trunk. In the only time he's deeply satisfied is when he's on a drunk. Well, mothers, tell your children not to do what I have done. Spend your life in sin and misery in the house of the rising sun. I've got one foot the platform and the other's on the train. I'm going back to New Orleans to wear that ball and chain. There is a house in New Orleans they call the rising sun, and it's been the ruin of many a poor boy. And God, I know I'm one.
That was Darian and Cancion. They will be airing this Tuesday night at 8 p.m. They are a bluesy, folk, Americana roots duo from Washington, D.C., and that was the House of the Rising Sun. And today we have Sandra Lambert in studio. Welcome, Sandra.
Thank you, Kevin.
You sounded great. I love that murder ballad.
Thank you.
That was a beautiful song.
Yeah, and sadly, it was a true story.
Yeah.
And I wanted to also add the very last verse of that song is what's actually written on Ada's gravestone.
Okay, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a history there for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And you got your guitar out again.
Yes, I've switched to the tenor guitar. And this next song is titled Long Gone. And actually, it's my most recent song that I've finished. And my husband and I our first granddaughter was born last June. She had to spend about a month in the NICU unit, but she's doing great now, and we get to babysit quite often. And I've been wanting to write a song for her or about her or something, but nothing was really bubbling to the top as far as inspiration until a couple weeks ago. She fell asleep on my chest. I was in a reclining chair, and she had her little head on my shoulder. And my daughter took a picture of that, and I sent that picture to a girlfriend of mine. And my girlfriend responded she texted me back, and it said, "Decades apart, but heart to heart." And I was like, oh, that might be a song. So that was the inspiration for this next one.
Oh, nice.
And it's titled, again, Long Gone. I was born a long time ago, and I've done things that you'll never know. By the time you're as old as me, I'll be long gone. Life for you is a mystery, and I pray it takes you where you want to be. And by the time you're as old as me, I'll be long gone. Even though we're decades apart, when you lay on my chest, we're heart to heart. Fair to skin, untouched by the sun, next to weathered brown crinkles from the life I've done. I was born a long time ago, and I've done things that you'll never know. And by the time you're as old as me, I'll be long gone. Life before you is a mystery, and I pray it takes you where you want to be. But by the time you're as old as me, I'll be long gone. While I'm here, I'll do the best I can to love you and guide you and hold your hand. I get joy from watching you grow, but the time will come when I have to let go. I was born a long time ago, and I've done things that you'll never know. And by the time you're as old as me, I'll be long gone. Life before you is a mystery, and I pray it takes you where you want to be. And by the time you're as old as me, I'll be long gone. You will stumble through this life somehow, but you're safe in my arms for now. I was born a long time ago, and I've done things that you'll never know. And by the time you're as old as me, I'll be long gone. Life before you is a mystery, and I pray it takes you where you want to be. And by the time you're as old as me, I'll be long gone. I'll be long gone. I'll be long gone.
That's a nice song, too.
Thank you, Kevin. Go right into another one?
Sure.
All right. Sticking with the tenor guitar, the next one's titled The Problem Is Mine. And actually, this one was an idea my husband had. He had kind of gotten bitten by the songwriting bug as well, and he wrote some lyrics, and he's like, hey, can you put some music to this? So I tried, and I ended up rewriting some verses. So we ended up each with our own version of this song. This is my version, but it sprung from his idea. And it's titled The Problem Is Mine. Let's see, I'll do. Oh, wait. This is a ukulele song.
Uh-oh. Well, that's okay, right?
That's okay. We'll switch midstream here.
We'll switch midstream. It'll be all right.
Well, the reason is I still have a hard time with my left fretting hand making the F chord on a guitar. And I know I can capo up, but I don't know. I just love the ukulele, so. You look peaceful now that I'm gone. Without me, your life is calm. Makes me wonder, could I be wrong? I expected things of you that even I wasn't willing to do. I thought you were to blame, but could the problem be mine? It can't be any clearer. Looking in my rearview mirror, I can't leave myself behind. Could the problem be mine? Dreaming about the arms of another, for a while it might be better, but then I'd come to find the problem is mine. I can run, but I can't hide from my ego or my pride. And then I've never tried to change my mind. It can't be any clearer. Looking in my rearview mirror, I can't leave myself behind. Could the problem be mine? Turned around at the state line, drove through the stop sign. I don't blame you, the problem is mine. It can't be any clearer. Looking in my rearview mirror, I can't leave myself problem is mine.
The problem is yours, right?
It's basically about somebody realizing that they contributed to the negative part of the relationship as well.
And you have recorded some albums.
I have.
Been-
I've recorded my first album, Life's Highway, at ETSU Recording Studio in last year in 2025.
Okay.
And then I just released my second album titled Days of September. It's on Spotify, all the streaming platforms, and it's also on Bandcamp as well.
And where can our listeners find you at?
iTunes, Spotify. I don't really have a website or a lot of social media.
Okay.
I do have a YouTube page where I do post just little random songs that I
Okay.
do, but those aren't professionally mixed or mastered. But you can find me on Spotify, iTunes,
Oh,
Apple,
nice.
and Bandcamp as well.
Oh, nice. And I didn't know ETSU had a recording studio.
They do. They have a really nice recording studio, and I got the pleasure of working with a gentleman. He was teaching the recording studio classes at the time, Troy Boone. He's with Russell Moore and Third Time Out Band, and he was my recording engineer and producer, but he also played mandolin.
Okay.
And then he had Jeff Parton and Aaron Ramsey, and those three gentlemen were phenomenal. I didn't play a single instrument. Well, I did play the dulcimer on one song, but they took care of all the instruments, and all I
Okay.
had to do was sing, which was the ideal for me.
Right.
And they did a great job with that first album. And then the second album, Troy did it all. He did upright bass, mandolin, guitar, banjo. So
That was a good experience, wasn't it?
it was a wonderful experience. It was one of the bucket list things I had, and I'm able to check that off. And
Well, I'm so
and
happy for
enjoyed
you.
it. Thank you so much. I'm excited.
Got any shows coming up locally?
I don't do a lot of shows because it's just me and my guitar. I do some open mics and things like
Okay.
that. And then my husband and I, we do some dulcimer playing together. We call ourselves the Butternuts.
The Butternuts?
Yeah, and we played, matter of fact, with Roxanne at the Philosopher's House a couple weeks ago. We had a dulcimer day, so we did about an hour performance there. But I don't do a lot of bookings and stuff like that. I'm spend a lot of time just at the house writing songs, and
Okay.
then try to get out as much as I can to spread the word.
Well, maybe in the future I can get the Butternuts on my show.
Oh, that would be great.
That'd
We'd
be
love to
great.
do that. Yeah.
I would love to have you guys. So.
Yeah, that would be fun. We'd love to.
Right, got more tunes for us?
I sure do. This next one I wrote last year. It's titled 5 Tons of Memory. And some people may or may not be aware. In 1916, it's another semi-true story. This one's kind of fiction based on fact. The Sparks Circus came to Kingsport, Tennessee, and one of their big draws was Mary the Elephant. And she evidently had a new handler handling her, and they had told him not to strike her on the ear or behind the ear. Well, evidently he did, and Mary ended up killing the man. And so the public wanted Mary killed as well. And I guess they couldn't kill her with their guns, so the only option was to take her into Irwin, Tennessee, where they had a railroad crane big enough to hang an elephant. And, Irwin kind of got a bad rap for that, which I think is kind of unfair because it happened in Kingsport. And, they just happened to have the method to where they had to kill the elephant, and the public was demanding that they kill her. So they were kind of stuck in a rock and a hard place. Anyway, I wrote this song from the viewpoint of Mary. So that's why I say it's fiction based on fact, because who knows what the elephant was thinking. And I did read one article that said they did an autopsy on Mary and that she had an infected tooth.
Oh,
And so the theory could be that maybe when he struck her, it was near that tooth, and the pain was why she reacted the way she did. But you'll never really know.
true.
But anyway, this one's titled 5 Tons of Memory. My name is Mary, and I traveled for years, riding on the East Coast rails. My owner handled me with gentle care, 'cause I brought in the ticket sales. Life was good until that fateful day. A new handler struck my ear. No one knew about my tooth decay, and the pain was so severe. 5 tons of memory hanging from a crane. A lonesome whistle blew for me. A quiet railroad town is not to blame. They set my gentle spirit free. In one swift motion, I grabbed that man. In quick reaction to my pain, his broken body lay lifeless on the ground. I'm the only one to blame. 5 tons of memory hanging from a crane. A lonesome whistle blew for me. A quiet railroad town is not to blame. They set my gentle spirit free. A crowd demanded that I be put to death. They couldn't kill me with a gun. The only option was 40 miles away, destined to hang for what I'd done. 5 tons of memory hanging from a crane. A lonesome whistle blew for me. A quiet railroad town is not to blame. They set my gentle spirit free. 5 tons of memory hanging from a crane. A lonesome whistle blew for me. A quiet railroad town is not to blame. They set my gentle spirit free. They set my gentle spirit free.
That's another good one, Sandra.
Thank you, Kevin. It's a sad story, but I don't know. I wanted to honor the elephant a little bit. Maybe
Yeah.
tell it from her point of view.
True.
But who knows?
Who knows?
The next song is titled A Life I Left Behind. And this is one I wrote this year in February. I follow a gentleman on Facebook, and he had put a post up about having to tear down an old barn, and he felt mixed feelings about it. And it made me think of the old barn at that I spent a lot of time in when I was growing up. And after my dad and my grandfather passed away, my mom had it burnt down because it really was getting ready to fall down, probably. So this one's titled A Life I Left Behind. Standing on my grandpa's porch in my Sunday best, the preacher shook my hand after he laid grandpa to rest. Memories flood back to me as I look around. The barbed wire on the fence is loose and hanging down. In the pasture stands a barn that leans to the side. The roof's been patched more than once, the tin re-applied. The boards have weathered into gray after years of sun. It was built to stand straight and strong, but time has won. I know it's just wood and tin, but I still remember him swing a hammer in rhythm to a tune in his mind. Cool shadows in the summer heat, brown dust covering my bare feet. Memories of a life I left behind. He spent time to build it right and laid each board with care. Calluses grew on his hands 'cause he worked with them bare. I spent many hours playing in that barn with the scent of hay, used tractor oil, and livestock corn. I know it's just wood and tin, but I still remember him swing a hammer in rhythm to a tune in his mind. Cool shadows in the summer heat, brown dust covering my bare feet, memories of a life I left behind. Grandpa finally gets to rest, his work is done. I've changed to denim overalls, my work's just begun. I said goodbye to city life, I've decided to stick around, returning to the life I left behind in this small town. I know it's just wood and tin, but I want to honor him, swing a hammer in rhythm to a tune in my mind. Placing each board with care, making sure the corners are square. I've come back to the life I've left behind. I've come back to the life I left behind.
Well, I want to know if you're going to be playing any more new instruments in the future.
Well, I also play the bowed psaltery. I've been learning the bowed psaltery. It's a triangular-shaped instrument that you play with bows, a single bow or double bow. And the right side, I think it's a tenured bowed psaltery. So I've been playing it for a couple years. I don't spend as much time with it as I do the other instruments as well, but that's been a lot of fun.
I never have heard of that before.
Yeah, a lot of people do not know about the bowed psaltery.
And does it come from a different country or different region?
No, actually, well, it's probably got ancestors. But my understanding was it was originally developed. It's not that old of an instrument, from what I've read. And it was originally developed to help teach music classes in schools.
Okay.
Because the right side of the strings, all the pegs that connect to strings, are the white keys of the piano, and then the left side is all the black keys of the piano.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It sounds, I guess, a little like a violin since you're bowing it, but you can't really do chords. You can do like I think a two note chord is about the most you can do.
Okay.
With two bows. But it's a fun little instrument. It's more of an instrument to accompany a lead instrument, I think.
Yeah.
So.
It sounds very. I have to look it up.
Yeah, definitely. There's several groups. There's a bowed psaltery group that meets, and I did want to give a shout out to the Songwriters of Southern Appalachia. Mary Mency was in here. I'm a member of the Songwriters of Southern Appalachia. They have a website, and then. Also a member of the Knoxville Area Dulcimer Club, even though I'm up here in Unicoi County. We joined when we were still in Knoxville, and they have a big online community and website and stuff, so I wanted to give a shout out to them as well.
You stay busy, don't you?
We try. We're retired now, but I'm busier now than I was when I was working.
Keeps you brain fresh, doesn't it?
It does, learning a new instrument.
Well, I want to thank you for coming in today.
Thank you so much for having me.
We really appreciate you. And want to take us out on one more tune?
Sure. I'll end with, I guess it's more of a gospel song. It's titled Arms of the Sun. Relinquish the wheel, turn your face to the sun. Your long list to do no longer needs done. The sweat from your brow shows the race that you've run. You gave it your best, no one cares who won. come. Release all your earthly treasures and fall into the arms of the sun. You only have one more hill to surmount. You'll get to learn what this world's all about. He'll be by your side, just hold your hand out. Trust him to take all your worry and doubt. Oh, it's not over. The best is yet to come. Release all your earthly treasures and fall into the arms of the sun. Feeling the warmth of the sun on your face, your body is filled with the love of His grace. Walk into the light, do not be afraid. He's waiting for you. Oh, it's not over. The best is yet to come. Release all your earthly treasures and fall into the arms of the sun. And fall into the arms of the sun.
You just heard Sandra Lambert, and we want to thank her and hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you next time.
Rouge, I was waiting for a train. I was feeling near as faded as my jeans. Bobby thumbed a diesel down just before it rained. Rode us all the way to New Orleans.